So, I was having another conversation with a different friend than last week, and we had a really interesting question brought up on how do you know why a sin is a sin? Or what makes sin a sin? And this question was really interesting, this whole conversation was really interesting, because it kind of had to boil down to both a sort of rational element and then also a faith-based element. You see, a lot of times we think of sin as this sort of thing that if you do it, not only is it bad because God said it's bad, but it has some real-world, earthly, foreseeable repercussion, particularly a negative one. And we understand this on a fundamental level, right? Lying, for example, I think everybody can agree in hindsight is wrong, and we can definitely drum up a bunch of instances in our minds where lying instead of telling the truth would be just a bad thing. It changes people's perception of you, it makes you dishonest, which is in turn just seen as a negative thing. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people will favor lying in certain instances, and lying doesn't always cause a negative thing to happen. Maybe you're lying to save someone's life. Maybe you're lying to save someone's reputation. And so in the moment, it seems like it's a perfectly plausible and even perhaps generous thing to do. Yet there is that secondary element of it, which is the faith-based element. The fact that God said it was wrong, and so you have to some extent, just trust God on that. I think it's one of those really difficult things because there is a certain point with all sin where you have to just trust God. You can certainly look at logic and reasoning and try to understand perhaps from God's point of view why this thing may be wrong, but you're going to try and find loopholes, you'll try to find ways around what God had said was wrong in the first place. That's just human nature. We want to be able to justify ourselves. We want to be able to find loopholes. We want to be able to understand everything. And it comes to a point where sometimes you just can't, and that's okay. So in essence, what I would say is this. If you see something in the Bible, God says it's a sin, lying, stealing, killing, adultery, idolatry, read about it, learn perhaps why these things are wrong, but also understand that after a certain point of your research, you are going to come down to the fact that you have to trust God, no matter how uncomfortable that might seem. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, and I'll see you again soon.